All right, hello, children. It's Pastor Matthew here, and we're continuing our study through the Children's Catechism. We went through 3 questions already, and today we're going to look at number 4. So the first question, if you remember, is what is our primary purpose in life? And we learned that our primary purpose in life is to glorify God and to enjoy Him. And we said that glorifying God is like taking a flashlight and pointing it so that you can see things. So your life is supposed to show people something about God. And we also know that we're supposed to enjoy God, which, as a review, we said is kind of like eating candy or chocolate. You get to eat something like that, and it's not very nutritious, but it's just enjoyable. So the purpose of your life is to enjoy being in God's presence and walking with Him every day. Now, the big question we're going to look at today is, who is God? What is God? How do we know? Well, here's our answer from question number 4. What is God? The answer is, God is spirit, whose being, wisdom, power, holiness, justice, goodness, and truth are infinite, eternal, and unchangeable. Now that is a pretty big definition for God. I'm going to read it again. God is a spirit whose being, wisdom, power, holiness, justice, goodness, and truth are infinite, eternal, and unchangeable. So what we're going to try to do is explain that verse a little bit. It's a lot of big words there. The first one we're going to look at is spirit. What does it mean when the answer says that God is spirit? The simple way to look at it will be this. I want you to see what I have here is 2 name cards, right? And one of them actually has a name tag inside. And when you have the name tag inside, it goes from being something you can see through to something you cannot see through, right? So when the name tag's inside, it's evident there's something in there. But when you can see right through this one, it's evident there's nothing inside, right? That when we say God is spirit, we're saying He's different than us. We have a body. You can't see through your hand, right? But you can see through this name tag. That's what spirit can kind of look like, is that it doesn't look like anything. It's not like this world. God is different than us and different than everything He's made in this whole world. So the world is kind of, you're able to see it like this name tag, and you can't see through it, but God is everywhere. He's located everywhere, and everything you see is around and about Him. But it's just like this. You don't see Him. He's spirit. So does that help? Think about this when you're with your teachers. Does this make sense that God is spirit? Try to think of these name tags. So we're told that God is spirit, and in His being, wisdom, goodness, power, justice, holiness, truth, goodness. Well, it says at the end that He is infinite, eternal, and unchangeable. So let's talk about that. When we say that God is infinite, that's a way that people talk about God being bigger and larger and unable to be contained by us. So the one way you can know what infinite is kind of like is with numbers, right? So here we have our numbers. And I want to know how high you can count. Maybe some of you can count up to your 20s. I know some of you can count up to 30 or 40. Well, I bet a lot of us can count this high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I have these 3 dots to mean that those numbers can just keep going, right? And the reality is we've never been able to count to the end because there really isn't an end of numbers. You can just keep counting numbers as long as you're able to. And even people try to get computers to see how high they can count. But that's kind of what infinite means. It means you just can't be done. You're never really done counting, right? And it's the same thing with God, similar at least, in that you can't like take God in your mind and contain him. He's infinite. He's eternal. That is, he existed before anything else existed. Before there was ever even time, God was already present. Now, these are really hard concepts to understand when you're little, but you're going to spend the rest of your life learning this, and that's what we're trying to do in these catechisms, is that you get to learn who God is. How about this one? He's unchangeable. We'll look at this as sticky tack in my hand, right? And if I do this, I can change the sticky tack and twist it, and I could even break it apart like this, or I could mold it back together and make it into a shape that I like, right? Now you and me, we're like this sticky tack. We change all the time. You're maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, and you're changing all the time. You're taller than you were last year, and you're smarter, and you know more words now. And also, how about if someone hurts your feelings? Does it ever make you cry or be sad or be angry? People can change you all the time. If your parents tell you something and you don't want to do it, they can change. Your parents can change you, change your emotions. So you're like this sticky tack that is constantly changing and actually can be acted on. Like I can act on this sticky tack, I can change it, and also people change us. But see, God is like this rock, in that with my hands try to do anything to this rock, I can't do anything to it. It doesn't change, right? So no matter what you do or what I do, God, like this rock, can't change. We can't change him. So God's always going to be good. He's always going to be just. He's always going to do the right thing and be holy. Because no matter what we do, he won't change. We will change, but he won't change. He's like this rock. So next time you see a rock, I want you to think about God and how he can't change, right? So those are our lessons for understanding who God is. So you understand that he's infinite, he's eternal, and unchangeable. Those are 3 really big words. And if you begin to learn what those words mean, and you ask your teachers to explain those words to you, and you talk to your parents about those words, what is infinite, what is eternal, what is unchangeable, then you'll begin to know something of who God is.